T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
We can't drive 55.
I turned on the mic. I hit the girls.
Episode 55 of the Play It By Ear podcast. Welcome one, welcome all. 8 people in the room currently. As always, please sign in. We have Mr. Liming back, juice box and all.
Don't mock my juice box.
Don't mock my juice box.
This is the sweet nectar of the gods.
But you know, I don't like juice boxes, just like I don't like Capri Suns. I liked them when I was like in second grade.
Yeah.
But now it's like one big swig from the straw and it's all gone.
That's what I was getting ready to say. 2 swallowers and you're done.
They need adult-sized
juice boxes. Yeah, and
you know what they would be? Some of those big blood donation pouches. That's
like IV bags.
Yeah, IV
with
bags.
A long
right?
tube. Just yeah. Yes. Indeed.
Brady, do you really just stop at one of those? I mean, that's like a tater chip. How do you just stop at one?
I have been known to double sip. Out on a hot day on the boat, it would not have been unusual for me to drink 3 or 4 of these.
You hardcore
There's
rebel.
an infamous picture of me just being totally American, bad A with my Capri Sun in hand. So
you do realize they make
those.
They make that same
That's
stuff
right.
in a.
Don't give me a PBR. Give me Capri Sun.
Brady's already off the. Or is it, am I lagging? Which one is it?
He's lagging.
He's lagging.
Yeah.
In my screen, I'm looking good. Now we're back to normal. Is it me?
No, it's back. It's back to normal now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. What I was saying is, you do know they make that same use in jugs, in big jugs, don't you? You don't have to buy it in little boxes.
Well, here's the sad part of the story. These are usually purchased for the children, and I pilfer them under cover of darkness.
Gotcha.
So I could probably, if I could find Capri Sun in gallons, or better yet, the High C juice box. What's great is there's some fast food joints that have High C fruit punch that you can get fountain.
I was gonna say, if you purchased a meal in a fast food restaurant and asked for the juice box, I mean, how?
It better also have some apples and 3 nuggets tops.
3 nuggets, exactly.
3
and 6 French fries.
That's right.
Well, hey, I got a good excuse. I usually have one of the chitlins in the car, so I could pass it off as theirs, and I snatch the juice box.
And you don't catch 3 kinds of grief for that?
No, I catch 3 nuggets of grief.
Exactly.
Don't snatch the jukebox.
I guess I should formally welcome my compatriots. Brady Liming is back.
Hello.
Todd Griffin.
Howdy.
And those in the room, Mrs. Wilson, also celebrating the fact that Mr. Liming is with us.
Thank you.
Howard William. the Red Rocker can't drive 55. Is that what they called him? They called Sammy the Red Rocker?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, I didn't know
Come
that.
on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
What's up, John Boy?
John
What's
Whitney.
up? What's up, John Boy? Would that be the new iteration of the Wallens? What's up, John Boy? Get some Z's, John Boy.
Adult juice box is filled with wine for $2.99. It sounds like a country song.
That's. I bet that's some high quality scissor coming out of that $2.99 bottle.
That is correct. We adults do not know how to put the straw on just one side of the pouch. That is a needed necessity in a elementary school lunchroom.
Oh, I've
among other
been known to
things.
impale one all the way through.
Yeah, it amazes me that it's 2021 and they have not perfected that little entrance into the goodiness. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You remember though when they first came out, they had the little foil, like you had to
Dot, like a little foil target.
the foil target, and you had to hit the target with the straw, which was infinitely difficult.
Especially when you're dehydrating.
You did. You had a little
one in the middle.
You had a little foil bullseye.
Yeah.
And now it's just the pouch. You just poke the straw in the pouch. I don't know how that works.
A funny story about these before we go on. My mom accidentally in my ute, we left a 3-pack of these in the camper in the camper van over the summer one time and forgot they were there. And then the next year, like went out to get ready for vacation, pulled those out and they turned into wine. They fermented and they just smelled of vinegar and nasty, but they were fermented.
Did you drink one?
Oh no, I'm sure that would have like frozen your liver instantaneously. It would have been like
Frozen.
Yeah.
Poison. You gotta roll your tongue.
Grandfather, your liver is frozen.
Gary
We've all
Chapman with us.
It sounds like we've all been hitting a few too many juice boxes.
I think it's his giddiness.
Gary Chapman with us.
Oh, Gary?
Gary.
What is it? What is that little?
I think it's Raise the Roof.
Is it Raise the Roof? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's cheering the juice box.
Yeah, sure. I'm with you. All right. We digress. We invite you to visit our website, www.playitbyyearpodcast.com.
Got it.
And there you can find a various and sundry plethora of facts about our show. And we will talk about some of those things as we go along, but certainly visit. And I do want to say something before we go on here. And I'm gonna put this on the screen. I'm gonna try. All right. So this week, and when you look at our podcast stats, they go in 7-day increments and week increments, and they go like they're little dots. And I'll share the screen here so you can see it. They're little dots that show when we have released an episode. So you see all the little dots on the bottom. Those are all of our 50 whatever episodes now. I think we've done like 3 instant classics or something. So we're up to like 58 or something. Anyway, you see the line graph there that shows the number of listeners we've had per week under each one of those dots. So as you can see, all the way over on the right side, that is this past week.
Ooh.
And this past week, we had, and my two co-hosts don't even know this yet. This past week, we had 268 plays.
Wow.
And just outstanding. And you can see it just blew away any other week that we've had thus far over the course of the past little bit over a year.
Because I wasn't there.
Well, that's what it was right there. Brady was. No, you can see the top 3 episodes that we've had played there. 54, Operation Switcheroo, which is we talked about that last week. That was Your Brain on Facts, that podcast we played. So I guess her numbers are going into ours there a little bit. But and then episode 45, which is nearing 200 plays by itself. I don't know if it's went over that. I haven't looked yet. But we do thank each and every one of you. We always thank you because we love you. But certainly thanks for your support here in our biggest week yet.
We love you.
We do love you. But
Mamby.
Mamby.
I can't
So,
even
Eric, I
begin
have
to
a question.
explain that.
I have a question, Eric.
What's your question?
About that. Like, so when you break that number down, so that was 200 plays for that one episode, correct?
No, 268 plays of all of our episodes over that week.
Week.
Over our whole catalog.
Okay. And is there a way?
So we look at the top three. Episode 54, our last episode, has 60 plays over the past week. The Your Brain on Facts has 44. Episode 45 had 25 plays just last week, but like I said, it's nearing 200 by itself. Then all the other episodes combined have 139 over the past week.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Gotcha. Just wondering.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But again, that's a credit to each and every one of yous who are with us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Moving forward, okay, if you've been to the show before, you know how it works. If you haven't been to the show before, each of us come to the table with a topic. We talk about that topic for 20-ish minutes. And I'm just going to start saying ish because we're just never really inside the 20 minutes. But it does provide a bit of a framework for us. But anyway, 20-ish minutes on each topic. And these topics have been previously undiscussed by us. So it's all fresh. It's fresh. Exciting.
Fresh.
What was that commercial? It was cat food, wasn't it?
Well, there was one
because
with a litter.
Fresh.
Yeah, when you opened the pouch, it went fresh. And there was one when the cat ran its paw through where it left its commerce, it would go fresh in the litter box.
The cat's paw would?
Yeah, like it
Or
was
the litter
implied
would.
when it ran its
Dookie.
paw through the it would run its hand through the litter, and then it had the animated little smells coming out.
It would be really cool if someone could train their cat to make that a sound that sounded like it was saying fresh every time it.
Ooh, fresh, ooh, fresh, ooh, fresh.
If my wife is in the room, I'm not sure she is, but maybe get one of our cats on that and make him do a animal trick. Maybe give him some usefulness in the house. Buy all this litter and this food. Let's put it to some use. I mean, get on TV or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are in the order in which we will go tonight. Brady will lead us off with his topic. Brady?
This is called This Might Hurt. And not much inspiration for this, except I stubbed my toe on something over the weekend. And after a few flowery colloquialisms and some poor speech, I got to thinking about, I wonder what the most painful or the unusual painful things that doctors, ERs, what do doctors say about what hurts? That's going to hurt. So before I get into the weird stories, we got to lay the foundation. Here is what doctors say are the 5 most painful common occurrences. So this is a good place to start. Now, there is some science behind it. I'm going to try to keep this light and not too heavy on the science, but here we go. So number 5, doctors say that getting a paper cut is the number 5 most painful everyday occurrence. It has to do with the amount of nerve endings in the fingers and on the hands. We've all gotten paper cuts, and you'd almost wish you got hit in the face by a truck instead. So
okay, so here's a question there. So it's a paper cut on the fingers, so not necessarily a paper cut anywhere on your body is painful, just on the fingers.
Well, that's where 99% of paper cuts end up. I mean, I'm sure if you had a paper cut on the groin, it would I'm sure it would hurt.
When you're growing.
But you remember the Jackass movie where they did the paper cuts on the corners of their mouths and between their toes, between their pinky toe and their nextin.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's kind of cringy. Yeah, that kind of made me a little bit lightheaded.
As disgusting as those movies were, that bit got me.
Yeah,
the paper cut, and they were giving themselves paper cuts with big, like the big envelopes.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure everybody out there in audience land has had a paper cut that just makes them want to curse and cry.
It's bad this year, so much with all the hand sanitizer too. They really light you up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Let's go on to number 4, which is what got us here: stubbing one's toe. A direct hit to the toe is breathtakingly painful. It jams the tissue into bone and then the bone into the joint, which starts the pain signals and synapses firing.
That's a dad thing too, by the way. That's a dad thing. I don't, my mom, I don't ever remember her stubbing her toe. My dad stubbed it every other night. I think his toes grew 7 inches at nighttime when he would walk around the house.
kind of like the Tom and Jerry when Tom would stub his toe and then they would pop back out. They would do the, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Brady, what would he say when he stubbed his toe? What would he do? What sound would he make?
Ow! Ow! Ho, ho, ho. That one.
That one. Actually, that's also a Becky Fiskus thing.
She stubs her toes?
All the time. All the time. I mean, I believe we've been married almost 10 years now. And I believe I can't even count the number of foot injuries. I mean, sometimes from dancing or whatever. But, I mean, she's always stubbing her toes. Always.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, my daughter's kind of the same way. She must be taking it after Becky there because she stubs her toes a lot. Celia, not so much, but Riley does.
I think women might experience it more because they tend to wear a lot more open-toed footwear. Yeah. So it seems like it would leave them exposed.
Well, Riley does it because she walks so close to everything. I've never said, it's like she's, you have a hallway. Well, rather than the center of the hallway, she walks to one side just so she can drag her backpack along the wall and just put a zipper scratch clear down the side of it. And when she walks around furniture and stuff, she tends to lean into the furniture, so she deserves to stub her toes.
Well, the good news, if she does stub her toe, doctors say the trick to halt the hurt is immediately massage the area. You will create a sensation that will compete with the pain, causing your brain to be distracted from the pain signals. So massage the toe.
You just killed me. Becky will now stub her toes 5 times more that you just said. The way to get over a stubbed toe is massaging the foot.
Not the foot. The toe.
The toe.
The impacted toe.
You know how that goes.
I was going to say.
It starts at the toe.
Slope.
Yep. Yeah, well, I have a question. This may lead into my topic later, but so we can push it back. But why is it you stub your toe, but you stove your finger?
That's an outstanding question.
And a lot of
people use the word stove in any other context other than your finger.
Exactly, and a lot of people mispronounce it. A lot of people mispronounce it and call it stub their fingers.
Correct.
But you stove your fingers.
I've heard some people say stobe too. STOBE, it's a combination of stub and stove. They stoved it.
Yeah.
All right, some comments from the audience. Chad McConaughey, welcome. Yes, Becky does seem to be injury prone. Are you talking about your Becky or my Becky? Maybe Becky's. I don't know if Becky McConaughey's injury prone or not. Becky, yeah. Todd Griffin, did you just call your dad Bigfoot? Howard asks.
No, big toe, long toe.
Long toe
Chuck.
That's like a Native American name. And yes, see, you've killed me right there.
Killed.
Yes, killed. It will be foot massages, wall to wall.
Been killed. Number 3, hitting one's funny bone. Banging your elbow, it's hilarious. Banging your elbow produces a tingly electrical current because it's close to your ulnar nerve. So it's close to a very sensitive nerve. So that's why when one hits their hilarious bone, it's only funny to the people watching it and watching them inhale every bit of oxygen in the room by going.
So there are other sensations that mimic the funny bone. I think there are other places in your body that can be hit that feel the same way. The knee being one.
The jaw.
Yeah. So I don't know why that one gets a particular name, being the funny bone. But there are other places that feel the same way.
The funny jowl.
I think it's because one thing, it's certain places tend to get hit harder than others by, just proximity, I guess. I mean, you don't ever hit your upper arm or anywhere as hard as you do your elbow, just like your shin is typically a place where you take a pretty hard impact. There's nothing funnier than watching somebody walk behind a truck and hit a trailer hitch and just go down instantly, melt into a pile of crying.
I ended up in the emergency room when I was in Morehead State because I was working out. It was during summer school, and I was doing the universal leg press thing, which was like a metal foot peg. And it wasn't my fault, but the pin broke on the machine. So the thing that you put your feet on went back, and then and I tried to spin out of the way, and it hit me right in the shin. It's about 110 pounds. And they said it had it hit any place else in my body, I would have had stitches, but there's no meat to stitch on a shin.
Yeah, and that hurts to cut a shin too. I mean,
yeah.
I can remember bike pedals for some reason hitting my shins a lot when I was a Ute. Like your foot slip off the brake or off the bike pedal, and it hits your shin. But
and if you have one with the texture, it's just like a colander running down, down your shin. Oh, yeah.
I believe I've talked about my problems with bike pedals before and had nothing to do with getting hit by them. Like when my shoestring would wrap around the bike pedal as I pedaled, and then my feet couldn't pedal anymore because the shoestring was so tight, and I just
got to lay it down. You just find a soft spot and lay it down. For sure.
It's like
let it go.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I think in a way though that teaches us to not panic so much, because that would, I mean, you'd have no warning that was going to happen. The next thing you know, it would be wrapped around there, and you just gotta.
If it was the cartoons, you'd have time to put a band-aid, like a blindfold and a cigarette as he fell. Like,
well, and what's worse is if there's no one around to help you, you can't get your foot off.
Yeah,
because it's wrapped up so tight. You can't get the shoe off.
You got to skin your shoe off your foot to get it.
Because the shoestring has pulled the shoe so tight, can't get your foot out of it.
As a train is running.
Yeah, you're out there barefoot, and then your dad looks out the window. Quit messing around out there.
And it looks like somebody did it.
You're just waving on the ground, waving.
Where's Eric waving? What's he doing? I don't know. I think he just gnawed off his own foot to escape.
It's like, hi, honey, go ahead and go play.
Yeah. Like a trapped raccoon.
A raccoon. So a couple comments. Once again, Chad, his Becky seems to get hit by basketballs in the gym all the time. Or some basketball magnets there. My Becky, the ankle bone feels like the funny bone. That is another one.
Yeah.
And she also says a screw went right through her shin, and her leg split like the Red Sea. About 8 to 10 stitches to Red Seal.
I was confused there for a second. It was an exclamation point.
John Whitney has a question. Has anyone ever had a Charlie horse under their tongue?
Yeah, hell, Johnny, we would lose entire days of work when you'd get those Charlie horses under your tongue. You had to go back to bed for the day.
John?
Did you have to rub it out?
No. Me or him?
Whoever.
Nothing a can of potted meat and pork and beans couldn't fix, Johnny. Sometimes you just got to chew your way through it.
Okay, I'm going to put the comments on pause because in honor of John Whitney here, number 2 on the list is getting a Charlie horse.
Yeah, but under your tongue? Is that specific of a location? How do you get a Charlie horse under your tongue?
There are muscles there.
Yeah,
it says the slang term for a muscle spasm can be caused by a number of issues, including dehydration, fatigue, nerve damage, or an imbalance of electrolytes. It's involuntary and it hurts. Compression is the key. Once it stops, you need to stretch it out. But I've never heard of someone getting it under their tongue.
Yeah, and think about it. A Charlie horse will humble you really quickly, and they always happen at the inopportune times. Like there's always somebody around waiting on you to do something when you get it, and you get hit by the Chuck mare.
Chuck mare.
Or in some cases, a Charlie Clydesdale. When it hits in the middle of the night, and you just, oh gosh, have you ever had the Charlie horse in the middle of your foot? And it just like it folds your foot like a bad envelope. It just folds it in half.
And heaven forbid, you could have a baby in your arms, and when that hits, you're throwing that baby to grab a hold of that foot. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're holding.
Yes, I'm holding the baby right now. By the way,
that was perfectly timed. By the way,
that was.
So I will, upon occasion, get those in my sleep and just snap you awake, and you got to it, and it's in my there again the shin. like my foot will be, positioned incorrectly or something. That thing, my shin knots up, and got to jump up out of bed and stand on it and let it.
Yeah. Or you try kicking the headboard behind your head. You got to throw your leg up straight.
Have you ever?
Hey, just make a deal with Becky. If you will massage her feet when that happens, she can do the old basketball stretch. Take your foot and push it back up over your head.
Okay, and I'm not even saying this, but have you ever got like the butt cheek cramp, like the Charlie horse at a butt cheek?
No, I never have.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, I pulled one before. I recounted like playing a game
Pulled
of
a butt
pickle,
cheek?
and I pulled my butt cheek. Oh, I was taking off playing a game of pickle in the backyard, and I pulled my butt cheek like somebody shot me.
I was involved in that game of pickle, and it was like a sniper was on the top of the hill behind his house. And he went down like a pile of bricks
From the grassy knoll. He's like,
It serves you right playing a game called pickle. You're getting a pulling a butt cheek.
He's trying to get up, look like a horse that broke its leg. He's
like, call the vet, put him down. But the Charlie horses are terrible. I mean, we've listed a bunch of them, different places you could get them. But the foot is terrible, obviously. But the under the tongue, I've never heard.
So when you get it under the tongue, Johnny, do you have to just grab the tip of your tongue and pull your tongue out like a party favor? I mean, what do you?
and do your ears go?
Just like, I was another Tom and Jerry when the bulldog loses his mind. He's grabbing his tongue and his ears are doing that. Once again, life can be traced back to Tom and Jerry episodes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Comments. Chad used to get a cramp under his chin and his neck.
I've gotten those. Maybe that's what Johnny's talking about. I've gotten those up there, right up again your throat, right in your throat,
right in your throat.
Allison, welcome, one of our Earbud Hall of Famers.
Hello, Allison.
I was loving Allison. I was loving the pictures from the Gulf side. It was making me very. I was living vicariously through those.
Indeed. And Howard says a Charlie horse under the tongue is not suitable for work. Proceed, Brady.
All right, so we are now to number one. And there is the answer, and then there's a parentheses that will, wow. Speaking of cramp on the tongue.
So you got a cramp there?
Parentheses. But biting your tongue, a.k.a. biting the innards of your mouth.
I hate that. I get fighting mad when that happens. There is
a fight.
Oh, whoever. But because here's what you know: there's something happens simultaneously when you bite your tongue or the inside of your jaw. Right away, half of your anger is pain, and half of it is now that you know it's going to swell up, and you're going to do it 10 more times over the next day and a half. Never fails.
Oh,
never fails.
Facts.
Fact, I remember eating a Arby's roast beast when I was about in 7th or 8th grade, and I'd had my braces tightened, and one of those new coils in the braces, I bit down, and I just bit my cheek, and it was so hard, and it was like one of the bear traps, because it was 2 pieces of metal that got my tender cheek meat, and I just it was awful.
I remember having braces because I never would wear a mouth guard or any of that wax and stuff they would give me, but I remember you get a couple elbows in the mouth with braces and give the old slices every which way on the side of your jaw, on the inside of your mouth meat. But the thing of it is, again, it swells up instantly, and then you can't. I mean, you might as well just suck soup for the next day and a half because everything you bite is going to happen again,
which doesn't feel good either.
No,
sucking soup with the
because it's salty.
I think I've bitten mouth meat out before. I've bitten it completely and had to spit it out. I've bitten down so hard that you hear the teeth clamp together. Like there's no mouth meat left in between my teeth. That's Brady, you're the one who brought this topip, Brady.
Just this is just bringing it home. And I'm going to divert here because in my research for this topic, there was something I came across that was described as horrifically painful. And I don't even know where to start, but just to say the story where a gentleman he had blown the tire on his bike and he had a bike pump. He had an air compressor and he was filling it up and he tripped and he sat down hard. And the nozzle of the compressor breached his anus.
Hello.
And it didn't. But an air puff, which caused him to have an air puff, and it
a zephyr.
A zephyr. It's a reverse zephyr because it ain't going out; it's going in.
Yeah.
And they described it. This person described it. Said he'd had his appendix removed. He's broken a leg, and that single moment was the most painful thing he's ever experienced. But the good news is, the chances of one sitting on an air compressor nozzle on their rectum is probably non-existent. It was a 1 in a million shot.
Yeah.
So I think we could rest easy.
That really wrecked him. Hell, damn near killed him.
Very well done.
Well, Brady, you were there. I think we've talked about this in other episodes. You were a witness to the corner of the speaker cabinet happening to me, that the same injury. So I couldn't imagine. That. I feel bad for that guy, but yeah, that's.
It was the only time in life where something from the reading book that always bugged me from childhood, where when somebody would get mad, they sat down hard. You sat down hard.
Yeah.
On the corner of that thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I wonder where this. I mean, obviously, there are many possible sources of the pain. Was it a combination of being breached, the filling of the air into the cavities, again, cavity. I mean, there are so many possibilities, or was it a combination thereof?
The answer to that question, Eric, is yes.
Yes.
I think, again, kind of like when you bite your cheek and you know that, I mean, I think instantly you would be the pain and then knowing where the pain was coming from and knowing how you did it.
Just like a feral animal when they're injured, just
yeah.
Except there's an air hose on your buttocks.
But I mean, what was the?
So did he have clothes on?
Well, yeah, I think the long way the metal needle. The little. See, now here it is what crossed my mind, though, because when you fill up a bike tire, it's usually one of those round kind of things. But he was explaining this one like it was the more needly kind.
Like you fill up a basketball with or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are blunt, but still, I mean.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing like a pair of cloth shorts or something. I mean,
spandex bicycle shorts. It'll go right through there like,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
So then
you never even see the entrance or exit hole in those things. You just
well, unfortunately, he saw his.
So was it? I wonder if the pain was relieved a bit when the air escaped from whence it came. I mean,
like when somebody has their gallbladder removed, one of the things they talk about is when they have to inflate your, body with a gas to make it bigger, and they say that's real. I didn't have that, but a lot of people say it's really painful.
I'm trying not to be that guy, but I actually did have that. I was pissed off about that too. Yes, apparently my sister had it too. It must be a Griffin thing, but that was bad. What it did is it collects in your shoulder. I kind of felt like I was having a heart attack for a couple of days because the gas apparently goes up and collects in your shoulder area and chest area, and
it does rise.
It was much more painful than the actual anything from the surgery, but yeah.
All right, comments. Chad McConaughey, tender cheek meat, nice. Becky, going to vomit with all this mouth talk. Yeah, she doesn't like.
Yeah, I
brush. If I really want to gross her out when I'm brushing my teeth, I just get up in her face. She doesn't like that.
I've been rolling my tongue around the inside of my mouth the whole time we're having that conversation. I got some scar tissue. I have some scar tissue built up in there.
Yeah.
Mrs. Wilson, I heard this one on the news when I was driving. Mrs. Asparagus was riding her bicycle on a back road and was hit and was knocked out by a sugar beet that flew out of a passing truck. Is that real? Like her name was Mrs. Asparagus?
It sounds like a vegan version of Clue. Mr. Asparagus and Mr. Sugarbeet.
Allison just says, "Oh mine." That's really all you can say to that.
Yeah.
Howard says that's his story and he's sticking to it. And Becky says the pain from the gallbladder surgery is the worst. The gas pain, she says.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right. So we had our timer go off. Brady, do you have anything else on that topic?
Nope. I don't think I could go any farther without grossing out our audience. So, if they haven't already been scarred.
There's not one more injury on that list you could throw out there.
Do you want one more?
I want one more.
Are the people asking for it?
Out with it.
Okay, let me consult my list. All right. Daggone it. Sorry, guys. I wasn't expecting this one. Here we go. A contractor was doing some duct work, and he fell off the ladder and did the slide down the ladder. And the entire time he slid down the ladder, there was some kind of putty knife. And so basically all the way down, the putty knife caught him on the shin and went all the way up and scraped him all the way from like shin to shoulder. So think of like an abrasion with a dull putty knife as you were falling at the speed of gravity from your shin to your shoulder. So it penetrated the clothing somehow or was sharp enough and just like all the way down.
Wow. That's like torture. That's a torturous injury.
Yeah. It's like something Buffalo Bill would do, some victim. Put on the lotion or you get the hose.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Bring the dog in the basket.
Why do you guys get lisps all of a sudden when you do that impersonation? I never had a lisp.
I think that's how he would get angry and frothing in the mouth. Like, put the dog in the basket.
It was lotion, not the dog.
Yeah, you don't put the dog in the basket. You put the lotion.
The dog had to go in the basket.
Oh, I thought the lotion had to go in the basket.
No, because he said put the blanket lotion in the basket is what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or the dog gets something.
The hose.
Well, I think that was wasn't that after the lotion thing? She got a hold of the dog.
Yeah, it was his dog. Yeah,
it was his dog.
Yeah.
So she had to put the dog in the basket, or she would get the hose. So it was the lotion and the dog.
Put the dog and the lotion in the basket
simultaneously.
Whatever else you have down there.
Left-handed and forefinger.
Joey in the house.
Joey.
Howdy.
And Jennifer Allen saying hi to Becky, but she's in with us. All right. Howard, as an EMT, I saw a guy with a rectal scrotal injury. Brian almost became Brianna. Oh, my.
Oh.
That doesn't sound very good at all.
A scrotal injury. That would be a good band name.
It would have to be a particular type of music. Sure.
Bluegrass.
A little bit.
Bluegrass.
Tell me you wouldn't go see a bluegrass band named Scrotal Injury.
Oh, I absolutely would. I don't like bluegrass.
Scrotal Eclipse of the Heart. Now that would be a good band name.
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna write that down. I got start a new band. I'm gonna do that.
With that. All right. Membership, support our work on the podcast. For more information, go to our website. We'll point again. www.playedbyyourpodcast.com/support. And we want to thank our Earbud Hall of Fame members, Joe Rocky, Christina Rocky, Chuck Griffin, Allison Chavis, who's in the room with us, and Jessica Longacre. Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're interested in helping us out in that way, again, go to playitbyyourpodcast.com/support, and there you will see. And again, I always forget to show the website. And I can show you what it looks like. We do have a platform called Buy Me a Coffee, and that is the crowdsourcing platform that we use. And let me share it here real quick.
Here it comes.
All right.
There we go.
And you can see you have our audio on the left, the video in the middle, the calendar, which I need to update on the right. Our registration for the email list is there as well. Again, just ask for your name and your email address so you can get our mailings. And if you go all the way to the bottom here, it talks about membership. And there's the Buy Me a Coffee platform right there, which you click into and take care of that part of it. But there's our Earbud Hall of Fame right there that I just named off. So again, thanks to all of those individuals for helping us out by becoming a member of the Play It By Ear podcast. All right. A couple more things before I move on. Miss Wilson. And one more I heard on the news, a lady was jogging in the early morning, fell into a hole, and was impaled by a rebar pole. All of her internal organs moved to allow the insertion.
That's amazing. Like the last second, it was like, oh, they just move out of the way collectively.
Yeah, the innards went, excuse us.
No.
So she was actually okay after being parted from the rebar. And recovery. All right. Gotta love that. Okay. As you can see on the screen, I'm in the middle segment. And our middle segment tonight is the in honor of the March Madness that just ended 2 nights ago. We have a bracket. Now, it's a 64 movie quote bracket. However, we're only going to do the Sweet 16 here because it would take a long time to go through all 64 quotes. So we'll keep it to the Sweet 16, and this is where the audience becomes involved. Please vote on what you feel which should win the matchup between the 2 quotes that I will give you. And we'll go through, and like I said, we'll have a little discussion on each matchup, and we'll let the audience vote what they feel is the best. And we will start with, let me see here. We will start with, here's the matchup. This is a tough one, honestly, to me. Of course, I know all the answers. I'm looking at the bracket. But, and by the way, this was moviequoter.com, and I think the website has gone out of business since then, but they had a vote. So they actually had their audience vote as to who would win the bracket. So they have a winner. I don't know if we'll agree or not, but I'll give you what they feel their winner was. So, first matchup. Go Ahead, Make My Day, or
what?
May the Force Be With You.
So, are we picking what we think?
We're picking what we think would be the winner between the 2 of those. Go Ahead and Make My Day, or May the Force Be With You.
I'm going to go May the Force Be With You. I think all in all, I think Star Wars is bigger than. Is it who? What was that?
Filthy Harold.
Dirty Harry.
Filthy Harold.
I like it.
It goes right up there with Unkempt Jose.
Oh, or Unkept Jose, as Brady incorrectly says it.
Yes.
All right, so waiting for the audience to vote. We've got Becky Fiskus voting May the Force. Howard votes May the Force. Kevin Lewis in the house. Welcome the Force. Though Clint is the man. I do enjoy.
I think Go Ahead, Make My Day was more intense. But the staying power, I think more people would be familiar. They could immediately tell you that May the Force Be With You is very, very Star Wars. And Go Ahead, Make My Day might get lost in the jumble of action movie heroes. So I think May the Force Be With You.
Well, because I couldn't even remember if it was Dirty Harry or one of his Western, one of the Western.
Charles Bronson or
No, I knew it was Clint Eastwood. I just didn't know if it was one of his Western movies or the
Outlaw
Filthy
Josie and the
Harold's.
Pussycats.
Yes. All right. We have a vote for Go Ahead Make My Day by Mrs. Wilson. And John Whitney, May the Force. And we will close voting now. May the Force be with you is the vote of our audience, is the vote of our hosts. And May the Force be with you was the winner in this particular matchup as well.
Hey.
And Gary,
Hey.
with the late vote, May the Force in overtime. And you are correct. May the Force be with you wins. So our next matchup. You Can't Handle the Truth or I'll Be Back.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'll be back. If it's not said in the Arnoldese, the I'll be back ceases to be the movie quote because it's the whole accent thing which makes it. So I'm going to go with You Can't Handle the Truth because that immediately says a movie, but without the accent, I'll be back just becomes I'll be back. Like I've gone to the store.
Catch you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give an explanation, but I agree that it is You Can't Handle the Truth is the winner.
Okay. Now, I do challenge you, though, when those three words, try to say them without saying them in Arnoldese.
I think I've said it in everyday life a lot. Like, I'm going to go walk the dog. I'll be back.
Yeah.
But if I stop at the door and went, I'm going to go walk the dog, I'll be back. I think everybody would be a little bit freaked out. I'll be back. What's wrong with you?
But in the genre of movie quotes, I mean, you have to say it that way.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. I'm still going with You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Votes from the audience. Becky Fiskus, You Can't Handle the Truth. John Whitney, You Can't Handle. Karen Kratzer Lewis, You Can't Handle. Gary Troutman with the acronym YCHTT, More Substance. Howard, I'll be Bach. You be Beethoven. Yeah. Mrs. Wilson, I'll be back. I'll be back. And the winner on the moviequoter.com site was You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yeah.
All right. Next matchup. This is Sparta. Or
I thought you were going to say Jeopardy.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Life is Like a Box of Chocolates.
Oh.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Box of chocolates. In unison, they say. Okay, audience, what do you think? This is Sparta or Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. And I guess maybe, I don't know what kind of clientele this moviequoter.com website had. Obviously, that could skew voting, depending upon what sort of audience they had. Karen Lewis says Box of Chocolates. Becky, love the movie 300, but probably Box of Chocolates. Howard, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. Gary, Box of Chocolates. And we'll give it a few more seconds here for vote or two more. And again, this is Sparta or Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. And we will close voting. And according to the moviequoter.com website, this is Sparta.
Oh, you
The upset. They banked that in as time expired.
With the victory.
Oh, man.
Bunk.
All right.
Poke 'em.
Miss Wilson, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. I'm Spartacus. So you kind of meld the two of them. All right, next matchup. Bond, James Bond, or
What?
On My Signal, Unleash Hell.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm not sure either.
The Hellraiser? Wouldn't be Hellraiser. That wouldn't have been a big enough movie to.
Nah, and that's a little bit too dramatic. Pinhead did what he wanted. He didn't ask for anybody's. He ordered
you're
you.
Right. You're right.
Bond, James Bond.
Go on, Bond.
Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not the quote I associate with Gladiator.
Bond, James Bond, or On My Signal, Unleash Hell.
I'm not a Bond fan, but I'm going Bond.
Yeah. All right. John Whitney, Bond. Becky Fiskus, Bond. Gary Chapman, Bond. Miss Wilson, Bond. Karen, going with Bond. Don't know the other.
I know my sister's watching. She's a James Bondophile. She's going to say Bond.
Bond. A few more seconds here for votes. Once again, the matchup, Bond, James Bond, or On My Signal, Unleash Hell. And we will close voting. And again, got one more vote. Howard says Bond, James Bond, and my Mark Release Hell was part of my wedding vows the first. Howard.
I was going to say, I think I remember quoting that when I first got out of college and sub PE in junior high, and we did dodgeball.
True. So. All right. And again, I guess maybe the clientele would determine what the winner of this would be. And On My Signal, Unleash Hell beat Bond, James Bond, which I'm like you all. I'm assuming you don't agree with that either, considering your votes, as I do not either. So moving on to the other side of the bracket, the matchup. How do you like them apples? Or My Preciousness?
How Do You Like Them Apples, I think, is a movie. I haven't seen Good Will Hunting, but I think it's from Good Will Hunting. And I only know that because of the what was the movie, Brady? The Kevin Smith movie.
Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
It is Good Will Hunting.
Okay. I'm going to go. Man, it won an Oscar that year. But then again, yeah. Brady, you pick first.
Well, he's thinking I'm going to go ahead and go with My Precious because there's a tons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking. I can tell you're thinking hard. I'm just going to go with the My Precious because there's a lot of Lord of the Rings fans.
Okay. Todd?
I'm gonna go.
Which sounds eerily like put the dog in the basket.
I'm gonna go Good Will Hunting. I'm gonna go How You Like Them Apples, just because it's it's a more famous saying, so maybe that would have swayed some voters.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, the saying in general long before the movie.
Okay. Howard does say correctly this clientele was really into the Gladiator movies. Yeah. All right, so the votes from the audience. Karen, My Precious. Josh says Good Will Hunting. Welcome, Josh. I don't know if he's voting for the quote or saying where the quote came from, but I guess we'll attribute the vote to the quote.
I think this is the first time Brady and I have disagreed.
I think so. Karen says, How Do You Like Them Apples? Sounds like something my grandmother would have said.
How do you like them apples? Sour.
Miss Wilson, My Precious. Put the S's on the end. Gary, My Precious. Howard, Precious. John says apples. And Josh does verify that is the vote for How You Like Them Apples. Looks like our audience voted by one more for My Precious, although it was very close. The winner, according to MovieQuoter.com, was How Do You Like Them Apples?
Ooh.
So moving forward. All right, next matchup. If You Build It, They Will Come, or
What?
Hope Is a Good Thing.
I don't know what that's from.
Is that Shawshank?
Is it Shawshank? Is it?
All right, Hope Is a Good Thing is from Shawshank. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good.
So we got Shawstank.
Shall stink after I
Shall
ran
stink.
that mile.
I was just thinking, like, I think I'm gonna go with the Field of Dreams.
Me too.
Dreams.
More recognizable.
Right. So again, we'll give a few more seconds for the audience to vote. If you build it, they will come, or hope is a good thing. And with that, I will segue into my math problem of the day.
6 plus 4.
4 plus
6 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2. 6 plus
I'm not a
4
math
plus
person.
3 equals 2.
No, is there a? Can you explain?
Well, I said segue, and one of our quotes is a baseball quote. Shortstop to second to first equals 2 outs.
Gotcha.
Double
I thought it was some kind of funky new Common Core math. But
All right, votes from the audience. Becky, build it if they will come. Something like that. Josh says, if you build it. Karen, if you build it. John, if you build it. Gary, if you build it. Miss Wilson loves the movie if you build it. Watch it, gentlemen. I don't know what. Well, I think I don't remember saying anything that we need to watch. Maybe earlier.
yeah.
All right, Howard, if you build it. But I love Shawshank, as do I. And Josh Michael knew the math problem. All right, winner is, if you build it, they will come, is the quote that won that one. All right. Next matchup. You're My Boy Blue or
What?
Carpe Diem, Seize the Day.
No. Sorry. You're My Boy Blue. Easy on that one.
Yeah, You're My Boy Blue.
What movie did the guy get drunk and said, "Come on, let's go, seize the carp"? What movie was that?
Gotta watch that mud vein if you seize the carp. It's good eating otherwise.
Good eating.
I was waiting for it.
Come on, man.
It would be
seize the
funny to
carp
see
and all
how.
that stuff.
It would be funny to know how many episodes where something has been said about a carp and we've gone to that.
I think we need to make a playlist on YouTube with all the carp references. This is the carp reference mud vein playlist. All right. Votes are rolling in. You're My Boy Blue was the vote of both of our co-hosts here. Josh goes along with You're My Boy. Howard says Carpe Diem. Karen says Carpe Died, Robin Williams. He did indeed. Is that your vote, Karen? Carpe Diem? Of course, the English teacher would choose Carpe Diem.
Yeah. She's the carp.
Gary says Carpe Diem. Karen says, no, Siri betrayed me too soon, DM.
Carpe died.
Carpe died.
You're feeling particularly surly, and somebody's, "Oh, come on, seize the Carpe Diem." It's like, Carpe died. That just seems like a surly retort.
All right. Votes are in. The winner, although it looks like our audience voted Carpe Diem, our host voted You're My Boy Blue. And the winner is You're My Boy Blue.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Next matchup. First quote, Toga, Toga. And this is actually two quotes from the same movie. The other quote, do you mind if we dance with your dates?
Yeah. Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
Yeah, I can't say that nearly low enough. I don't have the pipes to do that. Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
I am going Toga. That's a
agree.
hard one.
I
A
agree.
hard one.
Toga.
Toga is the vote of the co-hosts. Karen says Toga. And I think that's the first. Interesting of all the quotes that they chose or were able to choose from all the movies in the world, they choose two from the same movie.
It is a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be, I still think the best quote from that movie is the holy shit. when the horse dies. Shit.
Or hey, what am I now? That's it.
That's it.
Karen says Toga. Howard says Toga. Gotta vote for it because as a frat boy I lived it. Gary says Toga. Miss Wilson says Toga, which always brings the image of Belushi as an exploding zit. There we go. Great minds.
Yep.
So it's Toga across the board here. And of course, in the moviequoter.com matchup, Do You Mind If We Dance With Your Dates wins.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't buy that one either.
Ooh.
All right, Elite Eight. So we have the winner of our first matchup, May the Force Be With You, versus You Can't Handle the Truth.
May the Force.
I'm sticking with May the Force.
So co-hosts vote for May the Force. Once again, the matchup, May the Force Be With You versus You Can't Handle the Truth. Waiting for audience participation on the votes. And obviously these get a little tougher as you go along. Howard and Josh, May the 4th. Howard, May the Force. Miss Wilson, May the Force. And again, we vote according to our thoughts here. And the moviequoter.com site may have a very different idea according to their clientele. All right, we will look at the results. And the winner of those two is You Can't Handle the Truth.
Wow. I was hoping. I was voting for May the Force, but hoping for You Can't Handle the Truth.
All right, next matchup. This is Sparta or On My Signal Unleash Hell. Celia with the late vote.
Whatever.
This is Sparta. Since
This is Sparta.
because it was the upset winner of the first.
Yeah.
So this is number 11 seed UCLA gunning for the
Yeah.
Final Four here, right?
Yeah.
This is Sparta versus On My Signal Unleash Hell. So I got this is Sparta. Brady, is that what you said as well?
Yep.
All right, this is Sparta. Howard says Sparta. Miss Wilson says Sparta. A bunch of Spartans.
Spartan existence.
Yes. I'm sure. On My SIG, according to Josh, there's a vote for Unleash Hell. I figured my wife would be chiming in just because it's about Spartans. Not maybe necessarily she likes the quote, but I guess a Michigan State alum has to vote Spartan, right? All right, we'll go ahead and give you the winner here. The winner, according to their matchup, is Sparta. This is Sparta.
There we go.
All right, Sarah in the house. Don't know these movies.
Sarah. Yeah,
Sarah.
a little heavy on the. It's a little heavy on the Gladiator movies.
Yeah. All right, Elite Eight matchup. How you like them apples? And if you build it, he will come.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
I'm sticking with How You Like Them Apples.
You like them apples? Oh, we got a split in the vote. All right. So again, the matchup. How you like them apples? And if you build it, he will come. Josh says apples. And again, we're waiting for audience votes. We're almost to the final four here. Our last two Elite Eight matchups in greatest movie quotes of all time in the movie bracket. Got one vote for apples. Got a split vote between the co-hosts. Miss Wilson, how you like them apples? She says. No love for the baseball movies. Field of Apples. Come on, Howard. Pick a side. Don't walk the fence. John says apples. All right. And we will go ahead and give you the winner is If You Build It, He Will Come. If you build it, he will come. Come on. All right. Next matchup. You're My Boy Blue, or Do You Mind If We Dance With Your Dates?
You're my boy, Blue.
You're my boy, Blue.
You're My Boy Blue. Howard with the late vote for Field of Dreams. Miss Wilson, Howard's going for the fences. Indeed. Or the cornfield, if you look at the movie. All right, You're My Boy Blue is the vote of both of our co-hosts. Josh agrees with blue. Celia says blue.
Bluish hue.
Miss Wilson says,
I can feel
You're
it
My Boy.
in my plums.
Same actor, ironically.
Howard says dates.
It would dance with the dates.
All right, the winner. You're My Boy Blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
All right, final four. On one side of the bracket, You Can't Handle the Truth versus This Is Spada.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm riding out the truth.
So the 1 seed versus the 11 seed. You Can't Handle the Truth versus This Is Spada. And by the way, gentlemen, that is the quote from the movie that I gave there.
Really?
It is.
Really?
Howard says truth.
We want answers.
Celia truth. Sarah can't handle it. Gary once again with the acronym YCHTT. Josh truth. Becky hanging with the Spartans. But yet, lo and behold, the Spartans go down. You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yeah.
In the finals.
The Seinfeld episode where George is doing his you can't handle the truth. You know, where he does the salute.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side of the bracket. If You Build It versus You're My Boy Blue.
Man, I'm going with blue. I'm sticking with blue.
Sticking with the blue.
I'm going to divert with Todd on this one, even though I enjoy the movie old school. The You're My Boy Blue. I'm gonna go with If You Build It, They Will Come.
All right. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Dreams. It's a 1989 film about an Iowa corn farmer who hears a voice telling him, if you build it, he will come. He interprets it as an instruction to build a baseball diamond in his fields after he does Shoeless Joe Jackson. He emerged from the cornfields to play ball. That's the basis of the movie.
I haven't seen that in years.
And that is the quote.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you ever think that M. Night Shyamalan, that they could do a crossover Field of Dreams and Signs where the baseball team meets up with the aliens in the cornfield and then they find the children?
All right. Would be interesting. Howard, If You Build It. Miss Wilson, If You Build It. Gary, If You Build It, don't even have to finish. That is correct. All right. Got 3 votes. Any more votes from our audience? Again, the matchup, If You Build It, He Will Come versus You're My Boy Blue. What do we got? We'll call the voting. If you build it, he will come is the winner. So we're down to the finals. You can't handle the truth versus if you build it, he will come. Gentlemen?
Gentlemen.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth, says Todd.
I agree.
Brady agrees. All right, audience.
You want answers?
I'm entitled to answers.
You can't. I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. All right. Josh says truth. Sarah says truth.
Terrible.
Howard says baseball been very, very good to me. I think that's a if you build it, vote. As Gary says, if you build it. So we got we're tied 2-2. Who's the tie-breaking vote in the audience? And it's Mrs. Wilson with you can't handle the truth.
What? Wrong side.
And the winner, according to moviequoter.com, the now dead website. If you go there, you can't.
Obviously, it should be.
Yeah. You Can't Handle the Truth is the grand champion, the national champion of movie quotes in the Movie Quoter March Madness bracket. So congratulations to Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise.
So, Timmy, do you like gladiator movies?
Gary says, which I believe correctly, the final was the correct 2 of the 16 that we went through here. I would agree with that.
I would agree.
All right, Celia says truth there with a final vote. So there's our winner. You Can't Handle the Truth in the March Madness movie quote bracket in honor of March Madness that just...
we have a winner.
We have a winner. March Madness just ended on Monday night. So with that, before we get into topic number 3, Todd will round us out. Go to our website, and you can look at our play-by-ear isms. Actually, I'm going to do this. I put the play-by-ear isms up there on the screen, but we also have some biographies of ourselves on the website. They are self-authored, so they may
autobiographical.
Yes, autobiographical.
Yeah, I didn't realize you guys were going to do just a fraction of your lives there. Mine has a lot of girth to it there on that screen. I'm not
sure. How many times you ever said that?
None. I'm not sure what. Could you guys go and beef yours up a little bit? Because I'm not taking any of mine out.
Well, and yours, you play it entirely too straight. It's like a resume biography.
That was the point. I was trying to play it straight, but again, we didn't look at. I didn't see you guys. I know I remember writing it and just giving it to you, and then not seeing it until you had them all on there, or I wouldn't have written so much.
Hey, listen, you're not the straight man on this show. All right, so yeah, if you want to look at our biographies, they're there on the website, among other things. Check it out. www.playbyyourpodcast.com. Right here.
I never can get that right. You'd think after all this time. Gosh.
Yeah. All right, Todd.
All right. Well, first off, we normally keep this to ourselves until after it's over. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be an interesting topic because I have to pee like a Russian racehorse. So,
well, we just added another 10 minutes to the clock then.
Yeah, that's why I was glad you decided to go ahead and show the biographies tonight. Good call there. That's akin to hitting all the potholes in the road when you're driving me to a gas station or something. But
we're stopping at Aunt Flossie's to visit for a minute.
It is Russian racehorse, right? It's not race and rush horse. It's Russian racehorse.
A rushing
racehorse.
Racehorse. Yes.
Not a horse going. Oh, Nick.
But you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
Hoof.
Was that Russian or was that German?
Actually, it's like a Scottish Russian horse.
Yes. Well, but you're not supposed to enunciate the rushing. It's a Russian racehorse. All right, here we go. So our last topic is one that I'm frankly quite surprised we've never touched on, or at least as for an entire topic. But it's I have a list of 15, and this is a list of I don't think this is like a big source. This is just some dude who came up with his list of 15 most mispronounced words. And so I kind of thought we would go over these.
We do need a footnote. It's Dave Shoemaker.
Okay.
Todd.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean to write him off as just nobody, but what I meant is it wasn't like Newsweek magazine or something like that. This is one guy's opinion who happens to be a very cool guy. So I bet we're going to agree with what he says.
Shoeuntied.com is his blog. A lot of funny stuff there. So check it out.
Had I scrolled up, I would have seen that. At the top of my screen just says mispronounced words, my top 15 list. So I didn't know who wrote it. But anyway, so I thought, there's only 15 on here, and we can kind of see if we agree with Mr. Shoemaker, and also I'm sure that the audience will add some more, and I know we have some ourselves to add. Right off the bat, without further ado, axe is used in lieu of the word ask. So, like, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
And it's I don't know that it's as popular now. I don't hear it quite as much now, but I still hear it. I teach fourth grade, and I hear it from some of my fourth graders, and it's definitely annoying when you hear it from an adult. From a fourth grader, you can kind of overlook it a little bit, but yeah. So if you and by the way, if you say any of these, we're not meaning to ridicule you, but stop saying it.
Stop. It's generally an enunciation issue.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
people get to talking quickly and don't properly enunciate.
Yeah. The next one is thinks. Now, not like thinks as in he thinks time is up, as in thinks. Thinks.
As in, thank you.
I love the card you sent me. Thinks. Yeah, as in thank you. It's even, like it's
Fran Drescher saying it.
Yeah. Thinks. It's very nasally, very.
Yeah, that's pretty grating. I don't think I've encountered that, but you saying it, if I did, that would be like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. And you stop me, slow me down, chime in, whatever you need to do here. But the next one on the list, kitten.
How do you spell that?
It's K-I-un, K-I-un, and it's when most of the youngsters they kind of seem to think that pronouncing the T is a sin, and I'm quoting Dave here, by the way. So instead of saying kitten, they say kitten. I can't even do it. I can't even say it.
So if you really want to get technical about it, it would be kitten. Right?
Kitten, not kitten.
Or swallowing the T's altogether and saying kitten.
Yeah. And he goes on to say, or instead of Quentin, they'll say Quentin. Or they'll put on their mittens if it's cold.
Oh my God,
Eric! If you tell Dave that we used his list on this and he hears it and I'm not pronouncing any of these, if I'm not mispronouncing these correctly, tell him I apologize.
You're mispronouncing his mispronunciations.
All right, next he says, I've heard this mispronounced by almost everyone, including TV commentators, college professors, and former President George W. Bush. Nuclear. The word is nuclear, not nuclear.
Nuclear.
Is it a habit, though? Is it like once you start saying it that way, you can't stop, or do they actually think it's pronounced that way?
Well, it probably comes. No. I was just say, like maybe it was because we say nukes, but NUC is the same as NUKE. So I don't even have a theory where it came from.
Yeah, I don't know either. It kind of sounds, a lot of times it's kind of rushed, like nuclear. It's kind of it's not nuclear. It's not.
Yeah.
They don't really stress that U, but nuclear, just like quickly. They just roll through those middle letters.
If you did it phonetically, it would be the word NEW.
Yes.
New.
Yeah.
And the word clear.
Yeah.
Clear. New. Clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
or more like nuclear, like new CLEE hyphen UR, clear, nuclear, clear.
True.
On the list next, we have anyways. Anyways, as in, so basically there's no S at the end of it. It's anyway. Like, anyway. It's not, I was going to go there anyways. I'll pick that up. I was going to drive by there anyways.
Yeah. I think I said it jokingly, like, anyways.
So I think there's an obvious extension to this where many things are pluralized that are not intended to be pluralized, as in Kroger's, Walmart's.
That was actually on my list. I started making a list of common mispronounced words, but Walmart's was on my list. But it's hard. I mean, you can't have more than one anyway. So, like, you can't have a plural anyway. Next on the list. So the word is cash. But he's saying that the E at the end of it. So I guess people pronouncing it like cashy or cachet.
Cachet.
Yeah, so the word itself is cash, CACHE, homophone of cash, CASH.
So it's like your computer memory cache, CACHE,
is a homophone of like cash money.
Right.
What I've heard cachet use, and I don't know if it's incorrect, but like when somebody has some pull or some clout, they have some cachet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that?
I've heard sachet, like you sashay across the floor.
Yeah. I sash across the floor.
Sash across the floor.
Sash. Okay, I got some audience input here. Howard said we should let our significant others write our biographies. I don't know if I want a chance.
Oh, Lord.
Miss Wilson is very surprised but proud of Todd for his willingness to write.
Thank you. I think I write pretty well. Thank you, but
and I think she is heavy on the surprise. Maybe she's just going back to your school days there.
Yeah.
Howard says, "Let me slice you off an answer for axe." Howard says, "Axe seems pretty straight. AXK seems pretty straightforward." Howard says, "Use kittens as mittens."
I saw a girl. I was smitten.
Smitten. Miss Wilson, some of these are regional and dialect related. That's why we teach standardized English. It evens the communicating field. I want to make sure I enunciate all of these words.
Do it.
Yes. Howard says just say atomic instead of nuclear.
Atomic.
Correct. Atomic. Sarah likes going to Kroger's anyways.
You just stop at Walmart's. Or pizza.
Why do people say Walmart's and not Walsmart? Why do they put the S at the end of the mart instead of the...
I don't know if they pluralize it or they give it possession. Like Walmart.
There's no apostrophe. Walmart. Yeah.
Well, but I think... I don't know.
If it were possessive, it would be Walsmart. Right?
Not if
Am I right?
Not if you say I parked at Walmart's parking lot. It would be the possessive. The apostrophe S would go at the end of Walmart.
But it's Sam Walton's store,
yes.
So therefore it's Walmart.
Yes.
Eric, we're gonna own that now. There's 50 Walmart in this stretch of road.
It's Secretaries of State or Secretary of States.
Stick in the muds. Sticks in the mud.
Ranger Dan.
Is Large Canine Richard?
What's the plural of hell of a guy?
Allison says geocaching cache. I'm assuming that's also pronounced cache, or is that cache, Allison? You have to tell us. Howard says data for data.
Data. I say data.
Data. Tomato. Josh says when people put quote the or whatever. Hey, I like to say it. in front of things like the Facebook.
Or Josh, the Walmarts. They do both there. They put the in front of it and then
Or-
still end it with the S.
This is what, like, I still remember where I was standing in an elementary school hallway when this kid came up to my coworker and says, "Miss So-and-so, I got the diarrhea." And it was the diarrhea.
Well, because the other term for it is the. You got the.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to say I've got diarrhea, but you can't say I've got.
Yeah, nobody says I've got shits.
I knew you'd say it. Now your mom's gonna yell at you.
I've been yelled at before. No, but nobody says that. Nobody says I've got shits. They say I don't give two shits. You don't say I don't give the shits, do you? Do you?
Well, you could if it's a stomach virus.
Well, but if you're giving one, you have to put a numerical incident in front of it. It's either A, singular, or two. Plural.
Nobody ever goes more than two, do they?
No,
Nobody says I don't
no.
give 19 shits.
I'll give 18,
Square
but
root
not
of
19.
6.
That's where I draw the line.
Allison says sounds like cash, so CACHE, and geocaching. Cache is just like the other word. Miss Wilson, the Ohio State University. I would gladly forget that.
Yes, that's just annoying.
Does contribute to my household income, so I guess I can't completely forget it. Go ahead.
All right. Next, we have getting the word tenant and tenant confused. A tenant with one N is a basic belief, and a tenant with a second N is someone who rents an apartment or house from a landlord. So,
I have a tenant for my tenants.
Tenant for my tenants.
Pay on time.
Next, we have the old extra syllable. Athlete. Athlete. I got a case of athlete's foot.
Mid-Atlantic and Georgia Championship Wrestling was always good when they were cutting promos, was saying that the American dream is the 5-star athlete in the world, and they would do that, So
I believe this can also be attributed to John Bender in The Breakfast Club. I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
Remember that line from the movie?
All right. Next, we have library. Library. Dave says there's another R in there, folks. Let's say it together. Library.
Now, see, I do it on purpose, so I say it wrong, so my
We
kids
do that a lot,
correct me.
but that is the whole idea behind our earisms is we say them wrong on purpose.
Well, I mean, it's school. So when it's
Oh, okay.
the day where my kids go to the library to make them aware that library is incorrect, I say, okay, it's time to go to the library. It's library. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's reverse psychology there.
Today we were coming back from our special Connect classes, and I was standing right beside the office, and of course the office where my principal is, and our superintendent happened to be in the building, and I'm there in line waiting for my kid. My kids were getting ready to go on down the hall, and I very loudly, just without it, just in the hallway voice said, I tried to say we're going to take a real quick restroom break. And not one damn roar sound. It was, we'll take a real quick restroom. I mean, like I literally, I never got one thing right.
You Elmer Fudded it.
Yes. As loud as I possibly could. Like, we're going to take a real quick restroom break. And like, it was.
You fudded it up.
Yeah. So then I had to act like I meant to do it. Like, yeah, say that 3 times fast, kids, and to put on a little show there in the hallway. But
Just be a magic helmet.
Next, we have instead of chimney,
Ooh, I know where this is going.
chimney.
Bring me my crumpets.
Dave says it perfectly. That's a surprisingly common mispronounced word. I hear that quite a bit. Chimley.
Yeah.
Not the character on Palm Stars. Chumley. Not
I think
Chimney.
some of it. Do you think some of that is? I mean, it's easy to mispronounce words, and it's easy to, But do you think some of it is just lack of reading? Because like, if you see that word, you wouldn't think it was chimley at all. So, like, the only way you would mispronounce that word and think it was chimley, there's no way you can look at that word and think that the N should sound like an L.
Just listen to Dick Flippin' Van Dyke, because when he sings it in Mary Poppins, the chim chimney, chim chimney, chim dim chiroo, he's
So,
pretty much laying it out there.
so Brady, just out of curiosity, and in your circle of people in your realm, how many have seen Mary Poppins?
Quite a bit.
I have not watched Mary Poppins all the way through. I know the song, and I know some of the songs in the movie. I've never watched it all.
I've seen it. I mean, I've seen.
Yeah,
the
you've seen it when Dick Van Dyke drops trowel and dances like a penguin.
Yes.
With the animated penguins.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I don't know. There's some strange things in Mary Poppins. We just have to accept that this nanny.
I think there was some hallucinogenics involved there.
They went to Wonderland.
Some of these words are also. I think you might have said it earlier, Eric. Some of it's just emphasizing the wrong syllable. It's because like this next one, electoral, and a lot of people say electoral. So they're enunciating the tor syllable, the third syllable, and it's actually the second syllable that should be enunciated. So it's electoral, not electoral, and it's definitely not, like as Dave says here, electorial. You don't put an extra syllable in it.
No, either.
I have heard that, and I swear I'm not making this up. I can't even tell you where I heard this. When there was a debate of how it was pronounced on a TV news show, like one of those talking head shows, they said that when radio and TV got to be a thing, they wanted to make it clear that it wasn't electrical or electrical. So they started saying electoral, so it would not be like the electrical college or the electric college. And I don't know if I believe that. Somebody might have been yanking the chain there.
But I will say though, out of, and this is the first time I not disagreeing with Sir Dave, but I am saying that one doesn't bother me near as much.
Yeah,
electoral or electoral, as long as they're not saying electorial, because again, you don't add the syllable. But I have no problem if they enunciate the wrong syllable there, because it is what it is. But
do you know what's funny? Like if somebody would have never heard this episode or listened to our shows, like when we say things like Aurea, like all our isms that we do on purpose.
Yeah, or
they're
raccoon.
Like, raccoon, listen to this bunch of hypocrites. This is kind of funny because coming
well,
from us.
First off, I am. This is a very hypocritical topic for me because I'm much better than I used to be, but I still mispronounce a lot of words. But so I'm kind of in on the joke here a little bit. But the next one, espresso. It's not X. It's espresso. There's no X sound. There's no X letter. So it's espresso.
It sounds like an espresso that's very quick.
Yeah.
Like it's quickly served.
It is confusing because people think of the word express.
So is it? I mean, they come in little tiny cups anyway. So is it espresso like a half size espresso?
It's a demi-tasse.
I don't know. Here's a big one. I know that you often hear, irregardless.
No such thing.
It's just regardless. Yeah, there's no prefix. There's no IR prefix at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But again,
irregardless would actually be giving it regard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Unless it was EAR.
Now, Eric, I think this might be one that I think we all three might mispronounce this.
Okay.
I think all three of us might say mischievous.
Mischievous.
It's not. Yeah, it's mischievous. It's the first syllable, the miss, is the enunciated one. It's the one you stress. Mischievous. But I do think we all say mischievous.
Mischievous. Yeah,
I'm guilty.
So not only do we stress the wrong syllable, we add a syllable.
Yes.
Because So you should be stressing, those of you that are interested in saying this word correctly, you should be stressing the first syllable, the miss, and then it's just mischievous. It's not mischievous. Kind of the same mistake as in like the electoral, adding the electorial.
So you not only mispronounce the word, you bastardize the word. You add syllables to it.
Yes.
You could say mischievous.
Yeah.
So could it be
you say mischievous?
a hybrid? a hybrid of devious and mischief. It's mischievous.
It's No, it's just mischievous.
Yeah, but
But you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Brady's creating a word.
Creating a word. I like that.
I'm not creating. I'm trying to like maybe profile here. Linguistically profiled.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Speaking of linguists, Howard says if you want to see how all these mispronunciations, go to YouTube, look up Eric Singer Linguist.
You're reading my mind, Eric.
Mrs. Wilson, I was talking to the youngest school board member of all time about a movie I was going to show to class. I wanted to say I'm going to take it home before I see it. Take it home to see it before I show it. It came out first. I'm going to go home to she it.
She.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, did you say it? First I'm going to go home to she it.
He didn't touch it. Wow.
All right. This is the last one on the list. But there's a couple I've added, and I don't know if anybody else has any. But this one's, I think Miss Wilson talked about this, the regional concept behind this, and Dave touches on this. He says, I don't know if this is a Midwestern thing or not, but I hear it all the time as in, well, that's a whole nother story. Nother isn't the word. It's obviously another. So that's the opposite. That is taking a syllable out instead of adding a syllable.
That's another.
Another story.
Well, you would just take out the whole. Yeah.
That's another story.
You would just that's another story.
Kind of like linguistic laziness and just
that goes back to the hell of a guy plural. There's no way to say a hell of a guy in plural. You have to either add the word bunch. That's a hell of a bunch of guys.
Hells of a guy.
Hells of guys. Do you make hell and guy plural?
Hey, that's a hells of a guy.
He's one hell of
Bad Todd. He's a hell of a guy, and his family, they're hells of a guy.
See those guys over there? Hells of guys. Hells of guys.
But that other one, man.
Every one of them. Every last one of them. There's a hells of a guy.
Or Miss Wilson. Very good. Another whole story.
Yes, that's easy to get. That's easy to get tongue tied on. I like the idea of just leaving it out, but yeah, that would be the way you say it.
Or as Sarah says, whole
other story.
Story.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Here's one that I wrote down. There's two of them that I've noticed pretty heavily in the last, several years. Laptop instead of laptop.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Especially.
Especially.
It falls into the espresso, but yeah, it's especially not expressly, and it's laptop, not laptop. And then I threw one other one in there, Dark Vader. It's Darth Vader.
Star Trek.
Star Trek, yes.
That was the one that set my teeth on the edge as a kid. Did you watch that Star Trek?
Extremes.
Or Star Wars? Aerosmiths.
Bon Jovi.
Roses.
Would it be Bon Jovi or Bon Jovi's or Bon Jovi?
Miss Wilson, Portsmouth.
Definitely.
Or Portsmouth. Yes, or Portsmouth.
Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That is a spinoff man from Aerosmith.
Howard, when people don't understand or hear you, they just say please and not please repeat that. That is a Midwest.
I have an answer for
I think that's actually Ohio thing.
Yeah. And I'm really not making this up. I did find out the origin of that. I've read it in the Cincinnati Enquirer. We have a lot of heavy German heritage around here. Yeah. And there's a lot of German immigrants. And in the German language, they would say the German word please, like please say again. And it got anglicized. So people around here, the Cincinnati area, the please, because they were saying in English what they thought they should be saying in German. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So that's
got lost in the translation.
Yeah. Yep. So
Sarah says her father says I have a great ideal instead of idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is another common one.
Valentine's Day. Yep. And the one that, and this is a legit problem. I'm not even saying this has just happened once sparingly. There was an epidemic of fifth graders at the place that I work at for 4 or 5 years now that they say tooken.
Tooken?
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of taken.
Somebody's tooken my
Or
laptop.
I took a.
It's like, did you lose your pencil? No, it was tooken.
So they're confusing taken and took.
Yeah, and I always thought that Liam Neeson should do a kids, like a Nickelodeon version, where the kids are sleuths and it's called Tooken. It's on Disney Junior or something.
Howard does verify. A speech teacher in college told us that as well, according to the German heritage. And Howard does come up with another one here, a Calvary for Calvary. Calvary is a place. Yes. The cavalry is a horse army. A mounted army.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one, Sarah. Supposedly versus supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. There. Oh gosh.
We're going to leave a lot on the table here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We could drive ourselves crazy with this.
Yeah. All right, Todd. Anything else?
That's it. That's the end of my list. Thank you, Mr. Dave Shoemaker. Everyone should check him out. Eric, you can again.
shoeuntied.com, or actually it's shoeuntied.wordpress.com. That's his blog. Again, some outstandingly funny stuff there. And most of the stuff I should say about 50-50, the stuff on there are like things that has happened to him in his actual life. I mean, he's led an amazing life as far as his run-ins with rock bands, and he's very good friends with Gary Williams and Bob Huggins.
The story about
there. And,
sorry, I was getting.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, the story he tells about it was Dave that told about the story about his girlfriend. He went to a Chicago concert or something, and
Peter Cetera tried to steal his girlfriend.
Peter Cetera tried to steal. I thought he did steal his girlfriend. I thought his girlfriend went home with Peter Cetera or something like that, or went backstage.
You're out of luck, Dave.
No, she ended up going home with Dave, but he told her, if you go backstage, I'm leaving you here, and you have to get back Chillicothe on your own.
Yeah. See, what he should have said is, if you go backstage, bring me a pic. That's what.
And then get home to Chillicothe.
There's a man who will fight.
But apparently, according to the story, the romance ended shortly thereafter.
Well, how do you compete with Peter Cetera? I mean, Dave's he's a funny guy, but I mean, Peter Cetera, come on.
Yeah, really.
Walk away.
Howard Unloosen. Yes, that's another one that you hear somewhat often. Miss Wilson, a near miss is a near miss which actually means you were hit.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. If that's that, gentlemen, we will do our final piece of housekeeping here. Again, visit our website. And you saw, let me bring it back up here. Scroll on up.
Scroll.
And, scroll.
Does this look scroll?
If you look at any of the pages on our website, you can see right at the top our audio player is on the left, our video player is in the middle, and our registering for the email list and calendar is on the right. Like I said, I need to put our dates in there for our live recordings.
Put in those emails.
Yeah. Register for our email list, and you can get our email newsletters when they come out. Also, remember the membership option there under membership support right there in the middle of the menu, and visit our website for all that. And we kind of briefly touched upon our isms, things that the colloquialisms of this show.
The vernacular.
Vernacular, yes, good word. All right. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Nope.
No,
sayonara.
Well, yeah.
See you later.
Remember.
Send her home, Fiscus. Send her home.
Thank you, Sarah. Good show.
Thank you, Sarah.
I am installing a urinal under this desk before the end of this thing's over. I can tell you that.
Well, that's right. I need to put an extra 10 minutes on the clock there.
Yeah.
As if you've done that to me before.
The show just whizzed on by.
It did. Wow.
All right, Todd.
My teeth are floating.
Say it.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.